Imagine earning $14,000 a month, tax-free, in one of the most glamorous cities on earth, and still being completely broke if you lose your job tomorrow. That's not a hypothetical. That is the reality for a huge chunk of Dubai's expat population right now, and nobody is talking about it honestly. Here's the thing that genuinely bothers me about the Dubai conversation online. Every piece of content is either a "Dubai is amazing, I'm never leaving" vlog, or a "Dubai is fake and terrible" hit piece. Nobody is sitting down and asking the real financial question, which is, where does all that tax-free money actually go? Let's get into it. The pitch for Dubai is genuinely seductive. No income tax, no capital gains tax. AED-based salaries that, when you convert them, sound borderline obscene compared to what the same job pays back home. A British accountant, an Indian software architect, a Canadian marketing director, all of them can triple their nominal salary by crossing one border. On paper, it looks like a shortcut to financial freedom. And maybe it was. For the generation that arrived in Dubai before 2010, the math actually worked. Cheap rents, cheap maids, cheap everything. You could genuinely bank 40–50% of your salary and leave after 5 years with a war chest. That world doesn't exist anymore. In January 2018, the UAE introduced VAT for the first time in its history. Just 5%. Small number, right? But it signaled something bigger. The era of Dubai as a frictionless, zero-cost paradise was quietly ending. Rents in areas like Dubai Marina and downtown have climbed over 60% in the last 3 years alone. School fees, and almost every expat family pays private school fees because there's basically no realistic alternative, run anywhere from $40,000 to $90,000 per child per year. Health insurance isn't optional anymore, it's mandated, and it costs. And then there are the flights home. The flights back to the Philippines, to India, to the UK, to Nigeria, to Lebanon, those are a psychological tax that never shows up on any spreadsheet. Add it all up, suddenly that $14,000 a month doesn't feel so tax-free.
Here's what nobody tells you, and I mean nobody, not the influencers, not the HR departments doing recruitment, not the friends who invited you to their rooftop brunch. The lifestyle in Dubai is not really optional for your career. It's almost mandatory. The expat ecosystem runs on visible success. You don't show up to client meetings in a beat-up car. You don't live in a studio in Dara when your colleagues have 2 bedrooms in Jumeirah Lake Towers. The social infrastructure of professional Dubai rewards display. That's not a moral judgment, it's just an observation. But it means the moment your salary goes up, your costs go up by the same amount, sometimes more. This is textbook lifestyle inflation. Dubai just accelerates it in a way most cities don't, because the peer pressure isn't subtle. It's built into the geography, the culture, the Friday brunch economy. And I think that's what most people miss when they do the "should I move to Dubai" math. They compare their old salary to their new salary. They forget to factor in who they'll become once they're there. The real financial trap, though, the one that keeps me up a little when I think about it, isn't the spending. It's the structural vulnerability. Here's how it works. You're in Dubai on a work visa. Your visa is tied to your employer. If you lose your job, you have a limited window, 30 days under older rules, up to 180 days under some newer visa categories, to find another sponsor or leave the country. That clock starts ticking the moment you're handed your termination letter. Now think about what that does to your financial psychology. You can't be frugal in a way that threatens your professional image because your professional image is your visa lifeline. You can't sit on cash and wait for the perfect opportunity because the perfect opportunity has a hard deadline attached to it. You're constantly making financial decisions from a position of low-level anxiety.
And low-level anxiety makes you a terrible investor. The 2020 COVID exodus proved this brutally. In a matter of months, somewhere between 700,000 and 1 million expats left the UAE, roughly 10% of the entire population, gone almost overnight. These weren't people who'd made poor life choices. Many of them were high earners, senior professionals, people who'd been in Dubai for 5, 10, 15 years, and a terrifying number of them left with almost nothing saved. Years of tax-free income evaporated because the money went out as fast as it came in. Now compare that to what Singapore does. This comparison is one that almost nobody makes, and honestly, I think it explains everything. Singapore also has low taxes. It's also a global financial city with a massive expat community. But embedded into its system is the Central Provident Fund, the CPF, which mandates that Singaporean employees contribute 20% of their salary every month, with employers adding another 17% into a retirement and savings account you essentially cannot touch for day-to-day spending. The structure forces wealth building. The system makes the right choice the automatic choice. Switzerland does something similar with its three-pillar pension architecture: mandatory state pension, mandatory occupational pension through your employer, and optional private top-up savings. The entire financial system is designed to catch you even when you're not paying attention.
Australia has superannuation, mandatory employer contributions of at least 11% of your salary going directly into a retirement account, regardless of what you decide. You don't opt in, you can't opt out. It just happens. Dubai has none of this. There's an end-of-service gratuity, a severance mechanism built into UAE labor law, but it amounts to roughly 21 days' salary per year of service for the first 5 years. That's it. That's the retirement plan. It's a farewell gift, not a financial system. Japan is interesting for a different reason, and I want to spend a second here because this angle surprises people. Japan's household savings rate has actually declined significantly in recent decades. It's not the mythically frugal country it once was. Japan has real economic problems, but culturally there's a concept called ikigai, roughly translated as your reason for getting up in the morning, that tends to anchor people to community, to long-term purpose, to work that means something beyond a salary number. That psychological grounding is protective against exactly the trap Dubai sets. Because the Dubai expat mindset is often explicitly temporary. I'm here for 3 years and then I'm out. A mindset that accidentally creates permanent impermanence. You never build roots. You never build a local financial life. You're always packing, psychologically, even when you've been there a decade. Here's the contrarian angle I want to push, because I think it's actually the most important thing in this entire video. The problem with Dubai isn't Dubai. The problem is the story expats tell themselves about Dubai. The story goes, I'm making sacrifices now, I'm living this wild lifestyle, yes, but I'm accumulating experience, connections, and savings that will set me up for life back home. That story sounds reasonable. When you interrogate it, it doesn't hold.
The experience and connections are real, but the savings? According to the HSBC Expat Explorer survey, 43% of expats globally said they were not on track with their financial planning. In the Gulf region specifically, that number was higher, and this is a survey of people who voluntarily moved abroad, partly for financial reasons. High-income earners, financially unprepared. The tax benefit exists, but it disappears into a lifestyle that, in Dubai's case, is almost architecturally designed to consume it. Here's my honest opinion on this, for whatever it's worth. The people who actually build wealth in Dubai, and they exist, they're real, they treat it like a military operation from day one. They arrive with a number, not a vague save more intention, an actual number. I will transfer $3,000 home to an index fund on the first of every month before I pay anything else. They automate it. They don't trust their future self to make the right choice under social pressure, because their future self in Dubai is going to be getting invited to weekend trips to the Maldives and yacht parties in Dubai Marina. The ones who don't build wealth, they arrive with a lifestyle plan instead of a financial plan. And by the time they realize the difference, they're already deep in a lease they can't afford to break and a school commitment they can't walk away from. One more thing that almost nobody mentions: currency risk. Most Dubai expats send money home, and while your AED salary feels stable, the dirham has been pegged to the US dollar since 1997, one of the longest-running fixed pegs in the world. The currency your family lives in back home might not be. The Nigerian naira lost roughly 60% of its value against the dollar between 2020 and 2024. The Pakistani rupee, similar story. The Lebanese pound collapsed entirely. The Egyptian pound got cut in half twice in 3 years. So you're banking on a currency arbitrage that can evaporate faster than you can adjust your financial plan. You're not just fighting lifestyle inflation in Dubai, you're fighting monetary policy in a country you no longer live in. Nobody tells you that at the recruitment stage. So where does this actually leave you? If you're in Dubai, or thinking about going, the opportunity is real. I'm not here to tell you it isn't. The numbers, on paper, are better than almost anywhere else on Earth. But the number on paper is not the number in your bank account 18 months from now. That number is determined by something much harder than arithmetic. It's determined by whether you can hold a financial identity inside an environment specifically engineered to dissolve it. Countries with mandatory saving systems, Singapore, Switzerland, Australia, they understood something about human psychology that Dubai's model quietly ignores. People, even smart people, even financially literate people, need structure that removes the choice. Because when the choice is left entirely to us, in a city that smells like ambition and money and Friday afternoon at Atlantis, we usually make the wrong one. The expats who made it in Dubai, a lot of them are one missed salary away from packing a suitcase they never intended to pack. Not because they weren't earning, because they were spending in Dubai and planning sometime later. And sometime later, I've noticed, has a way of never arriving.